This is going to be for the 8th Sunday of Ordinary Time, and the readings today are from Sirach 27, 4 through 7, Psalm 92, 1 Corinthians 15, verse 54 to 58, and from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 6, verse 39 to 45. The readings from Sirach and Luke seem to focus on how we listen and see. Who do we listen to and look for? And why do we listen and see? Sirach reminds us that our attitude, actions, and speech are linked together. Sirach instructs that one must be aware. We are to guard our speech, our actions, and our attitudes. How many of us have heard, "Think before you speak," or "Think before you act"? Or did anyone ever say to you, "If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all"? Growing up, my mother repeated these phrases often to me and my siblings, especially if we were having arguments. In high school, I was drafted into the debate team. The sister in charge would often say, "Speak up, speak clearly, be concise, use reason and logic." People who have hearing losses often ask others to speak slowly. The point Sirach and I are making is that our speech reveals who we are, what we believe, and how we will act. In the Gospel today, Luke is concerned with our vision. To see clearly, a person has to be aware, honest, and humble. In the Gospel it says, if you have a wooden beam in your eye, you cannot see the speck in the other's eye. What can the beam symbolize? It can be any one of a multitude of attitudes and or behaviors, such as stubbornness, pride, judgmentalism, perfectionism, passive-aggressive, poor self-esteem, etc. The beam can be anything that prevents a person from self-awareness, acknowledging or accepting their humanness, and failing to act in a loving way. I've learned it's impossible to remove a speck from my own eye without a mirror. To remove the speck, one has to be gentle, careful, and be able to see clearly. Anyone who has worn contact lenses can attest to the need of a mirror to locate an eyelash or a lens that has slipped off the pupil. This is extremely uncomfortable. It blurs one's vision and usually requires taking the lens out and washing it. When it is put back in, the vision is clear and can be focused. I believe Sirach and Luke are encouraging me to be aware. Who and what do I listen to? Studies have shown people tend to listen for those who support or express what they want to believe, and I look for what I want to see. Because the radio or TV news, the social media used, and whether I like, unfriend, or pass on, often without verifying accuracy or truth, can really affect what I believe, who I want to associate with, and this can lead to division and polarization. I hope that I'm listening to the Holy Spirit through the scriptures. I want to express or to enflesh the gospel values of love, accepting the marginalized, the suffering. I want to forgive myself and others for the times and ways I have not acted as Jesus would. I can show my respect and honor the dignity of each person by listening to their story. I can allow each one to develop his or her gifts and talents. I can look for the good, for the Christ in each person. I recall the wisdom and challenge I have heard in Bishop Hannaford's homilies. Instead of getting angry or ignoring someone who does not agree with the way I believe, I can ask, "Tell me more so I can understand," or "I don't see it that way. I'd like to know more about why you believe that." I can try to engage in conversation and intentionally listen to the other person. I would also like to have the other person listen and hear as I share from my heart. Instead of judging someone by the clothes they wear, the presence of various tattoos or hairstyles, can I take time to look at the person? Could I have the courage to actually engage with a person? Can I dare to get to know someone who has a different belief, a different culture, a different race? Luke is saying that I, or we, need to clarify our own vision. The clearest vision is when I can allow Christ to see through my eyes. I can hear more distinctly when I let Christ listen to the heart of the other person. In our country today, with the polarization, hate crimes, blaming, lack of respect, and false narratives, it takes great courage to really listen to and to see the good in others. However, the readings today implore each and all of us to reach out and to risk. I believe it if more of us practiced civil discourse, listening with respect to one another's stories, we would begin to see more clearly and work for the common good of everyone. None of us has perfect hearing or perfect vision, but we can continually seek to clarify what we hear and see. In his letter, St. Paul asks us to be firm, steadfast, and devoted to the work of God. Above all, we want to express deep gratitude for all the gifts that we have received.